heads up from Dale if we're all ready to go.
Mic on, Jim?
What?
Hi, John.
John?
Nice to see you here. Thank you.
John, you're being streamed live. What a good meeting
Hi.
you picked.
Hi, how are you? Good.
Okay, you ready? Hello and welcome. This is the meeting of the Town of South Kingstown Town Council. The date is February 8th, and the time, 2010, and the time is 7:30. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dale, may we have a roll call, please?
President Fogarty.
Here.
Council Vice President Eddy.
Here?
Councilwoman McAtee.
Here.
Councilman O'Neill.
Here.
Councilwoman Whaley.
Here.
All members present.
Okay, great, thank you. Next, we have the approval of the minutes from previous meetings. A is from the work session of January 12th, January 20th, and January 25th, 2010.
Move approval of the minutes from the work sessions from January 12, January 20, and January 25, 2010.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is from the regular section, January 25th, 2010.
I move approval of regular session minutes of regular session, January 25th, 2010.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next, we have the consent agenda. Is there anything that anybody would like to remove from the consent agenda?
Kathy, I'd like to remove communications item B, page 3, 8B.
Okay.
I don't know what I did with it now.
B
Well, I meant to bring it, so I didn't bring it, so I didn't.
and J. Oh, does anybody wanna look at that?
Good.
J is a new business.
Kathy, is this where we remove,
Yes.
and should I add that too?
Yes, please.
And under new business, I'd like to remove from, on page 8, letter J,
All right, so you withdrawal of the bid,
withdrawal of the bid. Letter J, page 8, under new business.
and so we'll send it back to the staff
Send it back to staff.
for another recommendation.
Jay's not on the
Oh, I'm
consent.
sorry. I put it on the consent agenda, I'm sorry. That was my fault, Jim.
Okay.
Okay, I move approval of the consent agenda as amended.
So moved.
It was
Second,
not-
brother, second.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Did you put E?
No,
E wasn't
J.
on
B, he took,
8E though, right? Oh,
8B,
8B. I'm
communications.
sorry,
8B,
I'm sorry,
Right.
thank you.
Right.
okay, it's 8B has been taken off. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously, so just B. Thank you. Next is licenses. License A, a resolution granting a victualling license to Torre 2 Corp. DBA Tortoria Romano South, 8 Preservation Way, Wakefield, Rhode Island, 02879, subject to issuance of certificate of occupancy, application by Luciano B. Canova, President, 1 Peacedale Road, Cumberland, Rhode Island. This is a new application.
I move we defer that till
Okay.
after.
It's been motioned to defer till later. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes unanimously to defer. Next, we have License B, a resolution granting a victualling license to Matunic Pizza, 920 Matunic Beach Road, Wakefield. Application is by Deborah F. Bulger, 555 Brickhouse Road, Danielson, Connecticut, and this is also new. Is there anybody here from Matunic Pizza? If you please come forward and state your name for the record.
Michael Robinson.
All right, Michael. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about Matunic Pizza and your new license application?
We just, I guess they closed about 6 months ago, and I met with the owners and stuff, and my mother-in-law. I'm actually here for her, and we'd like to reopen it as Matunic Pizza, serving pizzas, grinders, and light dinners, you know, chicken tenders and stuff.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Michael?
Will it be the same as it was before?
It'll be the same, but just different food maybe, different quality.
And what would your hours of operation be?
Probably not too late right from the beginning, I guess around 10, 11 we'd open, close about 8 or 9.
And how many days a week?
We're trying to do 7.
Okay, and any other questions, Jim?
Yeah, is this a new license, Dale or Steve,
It's a new license for this applicant.
for this?
However, there has been a pizza or restaurant in that location prior to this.
Okay, so it's the applicant on, okay, all right. And I'm sorry, when you said closed, did you mean, do you own the building, or are you on the lease?
No, we're leasing it from Ralph and Asanda, I'm sorry, I forgot their last name.
I was more interested, a seasonal lease or year to year?
We're gonna try and do yearly. We're gonna see how it works out. And if it,
Smart thing to do.
yeah, if it doesn't, pan out for the winters, I imagine we'd probably try and close up for the winter, and
Yeah, okay, all right, thank you.
thank you.
Well, Michael, we're not quite done, in case somebody else has a question for you,
I'm
that's
sorry.
okay. Do you want to tell us your hours of operation, because you are actually being streamed live for the first time on the internet here, so
Oh, really?
people who might be watching might want to know.
Yeah, we, like I said, we wanna open up for, around 10 for lunch, so we can get an early lunch, and close around 9. Hopefully on the weekends, maybe 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock on the weekends. Okay, all right. Polly?
When do you plan to start?
We'd like to open this coming month, if everything goes smooth and, pans out. I can't be definite, because I don't know. I know everything's gotta get approved and stuff like that, so.
Okay.
How many parking spots do you have inside the gate?
It's not lined out, but I imagine a good 10, 15 parking spots, plus some more parking on the side.
Any other questions, Michael?
No, it's good.
Do I have a motion?
I move approval of license B.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Good luck.
Thank you.
License C is a resolution granting a victualling and holiday sales license to Lockwood Marina, 650 Succotash Road, Wakefield, subject to approval by the Fire Chief and Communications Superintendent. The application is by Thomas J. Lockwood of 120 Peninsula Road, Wakefield, and this is a new license application. Is there anybody here? Oh, please come forward. State your name for the record.
Hi, I'm Thomas Lockwood.
Oh, okay. Thomas. So do you want to tell us anything about what you're going to be doing at Lockwood Marina?
Well, basically, we had these licenses a couple years ago. We've been under renovations on our main building, and, well, just due to the economy, it's taken us a little while in order to get things where we'd like them. And we're looking to reopen the shop, sell bait, tackle, ice cream, soda, basically what we had.
Okay. Are there any questions for Thomas? No. Jim?
Looks like you have a good
I'm sorry.
helper over there.
Excuse me?
Looks like you have a good helper over there.
Yeah, I do. The best.
That's the ice
He'll
cream.
be serving the ice creams, right?
2 for you, 5 for me. We'll teach them.
Absolutely.
Are you keeping it at soda and ice cream, or are you moving into other products? Anything that you
at
make
this-
on site, or simply a vendor?
At this point, we're just going to stay with basically ice cream, soda, sun-dries, basic stuff. I mean, at some point, if we wanted to branch out in the future, if things worked well, I think we would, look at that then and come back and figure out what we want to do if we want to get more into the restaurant business. But right now, there's restaurants on the street. I know Perry's across the street doing great, and Captain Jack's is obviously Captain Jack. So I think our niche is right where we have it.
Right.
You're right in the middle, you got all the boats.
Right in the middle, we got all the boats. Exactly. Although we got open slips, so I might as well put that on the internet, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if people might be watching. Yeah, let them
Absolutely.
know. Absolutely. We want to see you full, too.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Thomas? No,
Will you
don't.
give them the hours of that you'll be open?
Probably 9 in the morning till 8 or 9, 10 at night, something like that, to get all the beach traffic like we do.
Okay. All right. Good enough. Do I have a motion?
I move approval of license C.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Good luck.
Thank you, we appreciate your time.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right, now we move on to public hearings First is public hearing A, a public hearing relative to an application for a license to keep and sell alcoholic beverages in South Kingstown in accordance with the general laws of 1956 as amended as follows. Class B victualler liquor license. The application for a Class B victualler liquor license by Torre 2 Corp. DBA Trattoria Romano South, 8 Preservation Way, Wakefield, by Luciano Canova, President, for the indoor bar and dining areas and the outdoor dining area in accordance with a special use permit granted December 16, 2009 by the Zoning Board of Review and is further defined in a site plan on file in the town clerk's office. Dale, do we have any correspondence with this?
No, I have none.
No. Okay, so we have coming to the microphone, if you could please introduce yourself.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm John Kenyon, attorney for the applicant, the Torrey 2 Corp. The Torrey 2 Corp's owned and operated by Luciano Canova, who's with me tonight. He's proposing to operate an upscale restaurant at 8 Preservation Way in the Village of South County Commons. We're here tonight for a request for a Class B victualling liquor license. We've also filed applications for a victualling license and also a wastewater permit. It's my understanding that after this hearing, you'll have a hearing on our request to increase the number of liquor licenses by 1. With our application, we submitted a site plan. I've also handed out the exhibits I'm going to be referring to tonight. If I could have the copy of the site plan marked as applicant's exhibit 1, please. I also have a larger scaled version of it up on the board. The building in which the restaurant's proposed to be located is already built. It's currently partially occupied by the Westerly Credit Union. The restaurant will occupy about 3,600 square feet of space. The utilities and infrastructure are already there. There's more than adequate parking in that area, and the zoning for the property permits the restaurant use. I've also submitted a floor plan for the proposed restaurant. I'd ask that that be marked as applicant's exhibit 2. The floor plan shows in the shaded area the liquor service area. They're proposing 90 interior dining room seats, 18 seats at the bar, and 28 outdoor dining seats, which would be seasonal. We've also submitted a architectural rendering of the exterior of the building. I'd ask that that be marked as applicant's exhibit 3, please. The plan was reviewed by the planning board. They gave a positive recommendation with a number of conditions, all of which applied to landscaping, which we've agreed to comply with. We received a special use permit from the zoning board dated December 16th, 2009, and that's the last document that I submitted to you, and I'd ask that that be marked as applicant's exhibit 4, please. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Canova, have him go over his experience in the restaurant business and also his proposed operation at this site.
Hi, good evening. So nice to see you again. Restaurant business was my life. I'm in a restaurant business all my life. For young boy, you know, I used to work in Italy in different restaurants, different kitchen. And then I have an opportunity to come in United States, and I've opened up several restaurants, which are located in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. We have a restaurant called Luciano's in Rentham, which sits about 300 seats. We have a lounge and a little banquet room. Then is a Lake Per Luciano, which it sits 1,200 people, and we do just wedding, Sunday brunch, and outing. And not too long ago, we opened up the Blackington Inn, which is in Arboro. It's got 90 seats with a carriage house in the back and 2 small bars. In the summertime, we have a patio, which people they can eat outside. And then we have a 4-liter dining room and a main building with a small bar. And that was already done, restored by me about 5 years ago. 2.5 years ago, we moved to Cumberland, Lincoln, Rhode Island, and we opened up a Trattoria Romana, and it was very successful. Also have 2 small bars and about 190 seats in the dining room. And then we have so much request for food to go. We open up a Trattoria Express, which is next door. And also we have a little bar. You can have a glass of beer, a glass of wine, whatever you want. But also you can take food to go. This is a family-oriented business. My kids, my sons, were all involved in the business. For many years, we look a location to come here in Kingston, but we look, near the water, and then we fall in love with this location where we in South Kingstown in the plaza, and that will be open 6 nights a week. And we are not really bar people; we are restaurant people. So the bar, it will complement the food that we have. We have a certain standards. The restaurant are not really, really expensive. The family oriented, but also for business. It's going to be very nice. I'm going to be personally involved. My son Dan, and then my general Brian, the general manager Brian, which worked for me for a long time, and also will be he will have a part of the business too. So we're really excited, to do a nice job, and so the local people, they can come there, enjoy some Italian food, and a nice glass of wine, and I will be always personally involved with my business. So usually my day they start very early. I get up 7 o'clock in the morning and don't go to sleep very late at night because I really pay a lot of attention. Like I say, we're very family-oriented business, and we are neat. We love flowers. If you know my places, we're really into flowers. In the summertime, till the time the flowers are alive, we'll have it outside. And then when they're no more available for outside, we'll put it inside. So, and thank you very much.
At the operation in Cumberland, are you proposing a similar operation at South County Commons?
Well, we're going to be open only 6 days a week, and it will be nighttime business. We'll be open for 4 o'clock for the beginning till about kitchen will close at 10 o'clock at night, and I hope the bar will close at 12 o'clock at night. We really, that's what I think. As the time progress, maybe we will open 7 days a week. But we like to move it very slow, do the thing the right way. And if the town and the people like for us eventually to be open for lunch, we'll be open for lunch too. So, thing that we do, we're very careful when we do things. So,
the outdoor dining, what months are you anticipating being open for the outdoor dining?
well, we have an outdoor dining also in Lincoln, and also a Luciano, very small, and a Blackington Inn. I think probably will be open from, I would say, June, July, August, maybe part of September, and then after September, I guess when the cool night start, we'll be open it. We just keep it closed.
And as we're streaming live on the internet, do you want to tell the council some of the food that you serve and approximate prices for meals?
Sure. I've been a chef for many, many years. I work all over the world, so I pick the best recipe I can find as I get along with my, training. So pretty much you will find, from homemade pasta, we go from homemade pappardelle alla bolognese and homemade cannelloni and maybe good ricotta cheese ravioli and a nice fettuccine alla carbonara, some nice pasta with the seafood, fresh lobster and scallop and all that kind of stuff, and also some nice linguine, alla vongole veraci, and also some veal, like veal marsala. We're going to have veal sorrentino, of course, veal saltimbocca alla romana, and other things. But we also have fresh local fish. In the summertime, we run swordfish and nice tuna when the season comes, maybe some sea bass, a nice piece of scrod, shrimp for sure, and just whatever is on the market, but we will have fish all the time. And for steak, we're going to have just prime beef. We'll use a New York sirloin made in a different way, like a New York sirloin alla Luciano with, pulcino mushroom, chanterelle, and a garlic white wine sauce, with little, Bordelaise sauce, and then we'll have a nice filet mignon stuffed with roasted garlic, with apple back, a little basil onions, fried in the top with mashed potatoes, but also a nice New York sirloin, just plain, maybe with a little sauce béarnaise, the way you like it. But we also very customer-oriented, so whatever you don't find, we'll have it for you. And then, of course, you're going to have your chicken, your chicken cacciatore, you have a,
It's a full menu.
I mean,
Sounds
we have a
delicious.
little
It's
bit
full
of
menu.
everything,
What's the average price for an entree?
I think you're probably going to range from $14.95 to about, if you pick the best, like a backstuffed lobster or something like that, maybe $45, $49.95. But, I would say probably a nice meal at Trattoria Romana, our check average at $30 per person, yes. And that includes also a glass of wine, or a drink, yeah.
And do your other restaurants, do they have liquor licenses?
They all do, because the kind of type of food that we serve, it goes hand by hand with the kind of food, it's like an Italian restaurant, you won't have a glass of wine, I mean, I just came back from Italy not too long ago. I go every season there to see if I can miss anything, so that's part of, but what's, you can have a Diet Coca-Cola or something, green water, yeah.
And with the other establishments, have you had any violations regarding your liquor licenses?
No, never. No, because what happens when it's people come inside and they really give us a hard time, or we stop to serve them, the next thing we do, we're going to call the police because it just doesn't work. We are in the food business. There's a lot of young kids, and there's a lot of people that don't want to know. Silver liquor is nice if you respect the liquor, and we do respect the liquors. We are not the kind of bar you go and say, give me a shot, and then give me a beer. No, you're not going to get another shot. You're just going to get the beer. We have enough shots. So it's very simple.
I have no further questions if the council members have.
Okay, well, thank you. Does anybody on the council have any questions?
Can I just,
Oh, sure, go ahead.
can I call you Mr. Luciano?
No, come Luciano.
I love your restaurant in Rentham. I've been several times, and your food is great, and your atmosphere, and we're actually going next weekend for my mother's birthday.
Oh, really?
So,
I'm always there, so I'm going to see you.
yeah. Are you planning on having any music at all? I know you have it in Rentham. You do have a piano and a small.
It's just, I think the restaurant business, it's just, it's what the really people want. We like a little soft entertainment, like maybe a classical guitar player or a nice little piano bar, but nothing more than that, even if you go to the Blackington Inn, I don't know if you ever heard, we have a little place, it's just gorgeous. It's, it's where they used to have the carriage house, where they used to change the horses. I took it over about 5 years ago, and I completely restored everything. It was just a nightmare, but it's so beautiful today. If you go to the internet, you will see it. Dan, what's the Blackington Inn? What did I say? What? How are you going to go to the internet? Yeah. You would see the flower and that's every year is the same because, and we have a little music there in the summertime. We have, a little jazz.
Yeah.
Very, very soft. Nothing So maybe we will love to have a little, maybe we have Alcy Bay, the place Eastern Hawaii, plays classical guitar. We have Ovo Luciano's every Saturday night, plays in one of the rooms. And then, people that love him because it's very soft, it's not too loud. And I like that because that's the way I like it. I don't have patience for any, bar with a loud music or anything else.
And if the license is granted, when are you proposing to begin operation?
Tomorrow morning. Well, it's like everything else, as soon as we get the license, then we're gonna start to work. We have, the people that going to do Trattoria Romana Express, they are the same people, actually they're from Rhode Island, they're from Cranston. Grunell Cabinet Maker is one of the best cabinet maker around. They build my bar, so this is the guys who's gonna get involved in our project, yes. So anytime,
Okay. Are there any other questions on the council? Jim?
Yeah, a couple if I may. Food to go, I missed that part of it. Are you planning on having that being part of your restaurant business?
Yeah, well, if you like to have Santi to go and take her home, we be very accommodating, so.
No, just calling in?
Just call
Calling
her in and we'll prepare for you, so.
So you are doing food to go then?
Yeah, all my restaurants have, food, if you like, you can take her home, yeah.
Just to clarify though, in Lincoln, I think you spoke about you have a Trattoria Romano Express,
Express, yes.
and that's different than the restaurant.
Completely different, they're two different,
That's just food to go?
no, but you can also eat inside, but it's a restaurant, we had to put Express because we got so busy with a lot of food to go that we really cannot handle it. So we built up Trattoria Express. It's also a location where you have Amica, there's a lot of businesses, and people don't have a lot of time. So they call, and then we'll have the food ready for them, and the Trattoria Express. Trattoria Romana, it doesn't do a lot of food to go, it's just the Express. And this Trattoria Romana over here in South Kingston town, we don't want to make a pizzeria or something like that. We will cook it, something if you like to go. But that's not our priority, but we'll make the customer happy if he calls, can we have a couple of steak or a couple of filet mignon? Of course,
Yeah, pre-cooked meals that
Yeah,
you can pick up in the
pre-cooked, yeah.
evening, take home and heat?
Yes.
All right, I have a couple more questions, or do you have?
No, go ahead, Jim.
Your other restaurants, do you own any of the property or the buildings, or do you lease all of them?
I own two restaurants, which one is Luciano's in Rantham, and then the other one is the Blackington Inn in Attleboro, and then the rest we lease it.
Okay. Did you look throughout the South Kingstown, Narragansett area to possibly buy a piece of land and build? Or did you always have in mind to lease property down here just to see if it would work?
Actually, me and my kids, several times we were inside in the common, and I thought it was very pretty. And for us, we're looking for a year-round business, so that we'll be part of the town. And usually if you have a restaurant near the water, it becomes more touristic, and during the winter time, it will be very hard to keep the restaurant open. I think as a businessman and as a restaurant owner, I would like my restaurant to be open and to be part of the town. That's why we choose this location, yes.
Okay, my last question, you wouldn't want to share your monthly lease numbers with us, would you? You don't have to, but I'm simply asking.
I don't have it with me, but I made a pretty good deal because I think that our restaurant, not because we'll bring some of the guests. I have a lot of friends of mine that live in here, around this area, and they're always looking, say, Louis, thank God you're coming down there, now we have a place to go. We have people that drive from here to Luciano's in Grantham just to go over there have dinner, you know, and
Okay, that's, right. Right, but you're not gonna share the number with me, and the length of lease.
the least,
Length of lease and the monthly dollar amount, which you don't have to share with us.
I don't have it with me, so I don't even know. Did you know?
I don't do the leases there, I don't know.
If you like to know what I pay, I'll show it to you. It's no problem.
Okay. Any other questions, Jim? No. No? Any other questions? Okay.
What's the, may I just, what is the one night you're going to be closed?
We're gonna be closed probably on Monday night.
Monday night.
Monday night. I think that Monday night, it will be, we're gonna employ about 32 people, so, you know, that's what we're gonna do.
So you,
That's nice, they can come to the town council meetings then.
Well, you know, I always go, and I always, you know, anytime I'm involved with a project, I'm gonna be there every day. And when I'm sure that the people do whatever they're supposed to do, and then I let them go. But I also have a live camera in every restaurant, so that when I go home, I'm watching what they're doing, and then I get my little call, you know? Brian? Brian's gonna be the general manager of, you know, Trattoria South. He works for me for a few years.
so you say 32 employees, so this could be some chef jobs, some local jobs?
Oh, sure, yeah. The only thing we bring from the other restaurant is the couple of my chefs that work for me for a long time, and we'll send them over here. And then, you know, a lot of people, they're probably gonna live in the area too, so they don't have to go back and forth, including my son, and, you know, and Brian. So they're gonna create probably, I would say, 30 jobs in the area, so.
Very good. And now you were talking about your excellent menu. I was wondering if you'd be using some of our local fish. Would you-
Of course, yes. Actually, Tony's Seafood,
Right down the road. here.
yeah, we only use Rhode Island fish. Our restaurant, they have a Tony's Seafood Company, the son and father, and they have the best fish ever. We order like today, and they will cut, and then tomorrow morning they'll deliver in the restaurant, yeah.
I have been to several of your restaurants, and they are excellent. And, you know, in the town, any town is looking for a restaurant because the meal tax is probably one of the best taxes as a municipality that you can get, and the governor hasn't figured out how to cut that from us yet. So we think that type of tax is something that's very beneficial to every single community. So, again, any other questions? Before I open up to the audience?
I just have one question. You must be from Italy, right? Were you born in
Yeah,
Italy?
io sono italiano, sì,
What,
sì.
what part?
I came from a little town called Torinpiedra, which is outside of Rome. It's one of the hill of Rome. My father was a farmer all his life, and he used to be a cheesemaker. I born in a little farm, and my passion was food, and I love people. So that's really my love, you know, people, food, and also, you know, we also have a garden that we, you know, but that's where I come from. My mother, she was from Venice, she just died last year, and she used to work for me. And then my father is from Bassano del Grappa, where north of Italy, near South Tyrol. And then I'm born and raised in Rome. I worked for 7 years in Switzerland. I worked in St. Moritz, Davos, Lugano, Locarno. And then I worked in Germany, in Dusseldorf. Always work in the kitchen, and then I had a chance to come to the United States. I worked in a cruise line, the Oceanic, and I also was one of the cook there. And then, you know, I came in this beautiful country. That's where I am right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so. Thank you. No other questions from the council? Is there any, it's open to the public, if anybody has any questions concerning this public hearing, they're free to come forward. Okay. Seeing none, I'll have a motion to
I
close.
move to close the public hearing.
I'll second. Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next, we're gonna move to B, the public hearing, and informational hearing for public discussion relative to the need for an additional liquor license within the community. So this is, for an explanation to the public right now.
Yes.
Um, We have, Class B, victualling license. We have 22 is the number in the town, and the town council, has control of the victualling licenses, and we can make a decision to increase or decrease the, victualling license. So this is an open hearing, so, if anybody on the council has anything that they wanna say or any motions that they would like to make regarding the increasing or keeping the victualling license the same, now would be the time to discuss. Jim?
Yes, I'm going to vote to keep the number of liquor licenses the same. Mr. Canova has an outstanding reputation for his restaurants and service. My issue was with my own community and how we went about the allocation of liquor licenses at South County Commons. So don't take it personally. This is an ongoing issue I've had with our legal department, our town, and my worry is that your success is going to put maybe the final nail in the coffin of downtown Wakefield. I was hoping you could have found a lot in town, somewhere to build in the Wakefield area. It's not to be. I think you'll be very successful. My worry is the millions of dollars of business you will do, it'll be zero sum, that you'll be taking most of that business away from other restaurants here in town and Narragansett area. So those are basically my concerns. I asked Mr. Osillo, our town solicitor, a number of years ago in 2004, 5 to 6 years after the South County Commons got their zoning changes, comprehensive plan changes, and there was much confusion on the amount of liquor licenses that were going to be permitted up there. Many thought it was two with a waiver, no more than that, one way or the other. It turns out that two got the waiver from the zoning board, and that anyone could come in from here on in to get a liquor license, any kind of liquor license. There's a lot of confusion on that, a real battle in town over just of the direction that the South County Commons took. The original comprehensive plan said no retail, no liquor stores, no movie theater. So you can imagine the politics that went into this. I'm still very disturbed about the process that went on through there. So this is basically why I cannot support the increase of liquor licenses. Again, not because of yourself, but because of the ongoing issue I have with how we've handled the Commons. The Commons, I think, now is going to put Wakefield in desperate straits. If anybody's familiar with Wakefield, we've got the number of empty stores. We're the ones that need a real destination restaurant like you would have presented. This is what my community needs, and we're not getting it. So I'm very concerned, and I'm very concerned that this will open up, have a number of restaurants up at the Commons with liquor licenses. There'll be nothing to stop that from going forward. So thank you, Kathy.
All right, Jim, were you making a motion there?
I see the consensus on the council, so I will not make a motion. I simply want to stand
Okay.
with my position.
Okay, thanks for stating your position, Polly.
I would like to move that we increase the.
You need to first of all ask if there's
Oh,
anyone
I
in the
wasn't sure if he
public.
was making a motion, if you have any
Right.
comments to make.
And
before you
then,
vote.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I will not make a motion
Can I
then.
make
Is
a
that
comment?
correct?
If you have it, if you want to add anything, you can't make a motion until we go to the public, too. Remember what public
Okay,
hearing
I'm
is.
sorry, of course. Yes, I would like to just mention that I
Okay.
am in favor of increasing the liquor license. I can't imagine a hotel succeeding, or a restaurant, succeeding without serving liquor. It sounds like a great restaurant, and I think that the more good things we have in Wakefield, the more people we attract to Wakefield. So I think that I would like to see this restaurant, and I think the South County Commons has been a great success. And I think that it's a great place to go. I think more and more people are coming there. I think it's a destination place. And so I would be in favor of increasing the license.
Okay, any other comments from the council?
I'd just like to say that I think Mr. Canova and his restaurant would be a great addition to the town and to the South County Commons, and his reputation as a restaurateur precedes him, and I think many people will come. And the more people we can get here, if his business is successful, it'll spill over into the rest of the town, and so I'm all in favor of it.
Okay, we have no motion, but thank you for your comments. Ella?
I'm in full support of what Polly and Carol has said, and we welcome many, many more people into South Kingstown. So, and wish you the best of luck, and I'm very dismayed that, that there's really issues going on tonight at the town council. That has happened before, and I'm hoping that it won't, you know, have you look unfavorable here. So, Jim, with your, you know, I just really don't want him penalized for prior issues that you've had up at the Commons, so we welcome you wholeheartedly.
Anybody else on the council? I'll move it out to the general public if anybody has an issue or would like to come forward regarding the need for an additional liquor license within the community. Please come forward. Okay. I guess what I'll just state, I just want to make it clear that the zoning board and any decisions that they've made, the zoning board sits separate from the council, gives recommendations to the council, as does our planning board. I don't think that there was any politics involved in this. I think Mr. O'Neill has a history going back, and again, it has no reflection on your application with the, from when it was the special management district to its development to now, some personal issues with that. And I don't think that you should be held accountable for that at all, and this has nothing to do with you at all. I think that, as I said before, increasing restaurants such as yourself gives the town a tax that we're looking for with the meal tax that comes back to the town and benefits the town. The South County Commons has brought in, I don't want to give an exact number, but well over $1 million of additional taxes to the town of South Kingstown that the residents of the town do not have to come up with out of pocket. And in this day and age, that says something for the special management district, or excuse me, the South County Commons, and it has been an extremely huge asset to the town, and I think by adding your restaurant in there, that would only be an additional bonus to the town of South Kingstown. So I'm looking for a motion. Oh, and then I have to, excuse me, I have to close the public hearing.
You're going to close this, the motion would be to close this
the
informational
public
hearing.
Thank you, I have it here.
Was that a motion, Polly?
That was a
Closing.
motion to close.
Second.
Oh.
It's moved and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously to close. What is your,
Okay, you now need
Need
to
to go back
move
to
to,
A.
no, 13A. You want to go to 13A under new business.
yep, okay.
And that's the resolution regarding whether you're going to, now that you've had your hearing on
Hearing.
whether to increase, gives you the opportunity to actually make a motion to change the B victual licenses
Okay.
if that's what you want to do.
You're right, you're right. It's a little bit of a process here. It's a little
Yes.
dance. It's a one-step, two-step all over our agenda this evening. So we are going to new business item number 13A, which is a resolution affirming or amending the town liquor license rules and regulations, section 1. The number of licenses for each class shall be authorized as indicated below. For the Class B victualling license, it is 22. Is there a motion?
I'll move to increase the Class B victualler license to 23.
I'll
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay?
The motion passes 4-1. Okay, we go back to
License A,
license.
hearing A, I'm sorry, hearing.
No, license,
7A, hearing A.
Public hearing A. And so we have closed that, and now we need a motion to approve public hearing item A.
I move to approve public hearing item A.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay?
All right, the motion passes 4-1. Next, we move back to public hearing item B. It has been closed.
You don't need
No,
to.
we
You
don't
don't
need
need
to?
to do
Okay,
anything.
I'm sorry.
You need to go to 6A now.
Now we go back to 6A. I have arrows all over my agenda. It's very difficult.
Want a motion?
Yes.
Motion to approve license A.
Okay, we had deferred this, and now it has been motioned by, moved
I'll
by Ella.
second.
Seconded by Carol. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor for a license for A, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
The motion passes with a vote of 4-1. Okay. Congratulations, and good luck. Sorry for the little moving around on
Thank
the
you.
agenda.
Good luck.
Good luck.
I'll see you Saturday.
Okay, next we are moving on to public hearing, item C, a public hearing for the purposes of obtaining citizens' views on community development, housing needs, and program performance relative to filling a small cities community development block grant, CDBG, application for the program year 2010. The town is eligible to apply for $400,000 in funds for the purpose of undertaking activities that meet one or more of the following three named national objectives. 1, improved housing opportunities for low and moderate income families and individuals. 2, provision of employment opportunities for low and moderate income persons. And 3, provisions of community facilities, services principally benefiting low and moderate income families and individuals. Steve, I think you're going to speak to this public hearing item?
Yes, since 1985, the town of South Kingstown has participated in the Community Development Block Grant Program. For the 2010 year, similar requirements to past years are in place. 2 public hearings are necessary. Tonight is the first of the 2 public hearings. At this public hearing, it's to provide public notice that the town will accept applications through the 19th of February to any organization that proposes activities that would provide for employment opportunities for low and moderate income individuals, housing opportunities for low and moderate individuals and families, and provisions for community facilities that would principally benefit individuals of low and moderate income. The town has an opportunity to apply for up to $400,000 in CDBG funding for the 2010 year. During the current year, the town had an opportunity to apply for $400,000. We did, and we received a grant of $249,000. Over the term of the last 25 years, average grant has been in the $159,000 to $160,000 range. The planning department has also provided solicitation of proposals to human service agencies that have participated in CDBG funding in the past. Those applications went out on January 19th, and as I mentioned earlier, are due back to the planning department on or before the 19th of February. Once the applications are received, they will be ranked by municipal staff. Staff will then bring this back to a second public hearing on March 22nd before the council. At that time, the application will be authorized by the council to proceed. It will then go to the planning board for its ratification as well, and then be submitted to the state sometime during the month of April. So with that, I would again put forward that any group or organization that believes that they have program activities, they can be ranging from as small as $1,000 up to $100,000 in nature, that would look at employment opportunities, housing opportunities, or community facilities or enhancements of existing infrastructure, can provide notice and file application with the planning department so that those proposals can be entertained and ranked as a component of the town's 2010 application. I'd be glad to answer any questions that the council or public may have relative to the CDBG program that's subject of this hearing tonight.
Steve, we usually have this every year, so have we had applications already come forward?
I do not think that we've received applications yet.
No.
Again, the date is February 19th. We normally get them right around the last week before the close of the date, but at this point, we would assume that we'll continue to see the service organizations that we have in the past. During the current year, funding was provided to, I believe, 11 different organizations, and these ranged from a high of $90,000 for Housing Rehabilitation Grant Program, which has been a mainstay of the program participation by South Kingstown. Johnny Cake Center had received $10,000 for the meals program that they operate. Washington County Community Development Corporation received funding. The Adult Day Center received funding for a building addition. Welcome House received operating expense assistance. Domestic Violence Residence Center received renovation dollars. Washington County CDC had operating funds as well, and Sensational Child provided training dollars. So those are the types of activities that we anticipate seeing. I think over the 25-year period, there's been about $1.3 million that's come through this program, of which most of those dollars have been funneled through existing service organizations within the community.
Are there any other questions for Steve regarding this public hearing item? No. Any questions from the audience regarding the CDBG grants? No? Oh, please come forward. Leslie? I was wondering if you might have a question. Please state your name for the record.
Leslie Schwannard. I don't have any questions. I would just say that Peacedale Neighborhood Revitalization strongly supports what the town is doing. We've been working in conjunction with the town as much as we can. We're glad that the town has taken the initiative, and I know that Steve's going to get us the $400,000. We have nothing to worry about. So thank you so much for taking this program on. And I'd like to thank Vin Murray too, because he's been a great support to us, as Andy Nada has too. So thank you.
Make sure you put in your application though, Leslie, for more money. We could change the facade of some building somewhere in Peacedale. Oh, I'm sure you're thinking of some. Okay, good. We want to see the money used. All right, any other questions, concerns? Hearing, oh, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, Steve, if you had to give a total dollar amount for requests last year, what was it? That's all we can put in for.
My recollection is it was below the, it may have been in the $300,000
That's what I
range.
thought, yeah.
We didn't receive,
At the end, we got to
what we did is we increased the facilities improvements for the adult day services, I think as a way of pushing up the amount of the request. But again, there's $3.7 million that's available with 32 communities eligible to participate. The governor's office makes the final determination on the grants, and they pretty much are spread through those 32 communities if an application is filed by the city or town. So I mean, I think that going rate, what we received last year was high in relation to what prior years had been. Certainly, we will apply for up to the $400,000 if we receive the grant applications.
I guess I'm just surprised that the number isn't in the $500,000, $1 million range. There are many agencies out there, nonprofit and otherwise, that don't know about this.
We send out the notice specifically to any of the agencies that have received funding in the past. We also have notice in the newspaper as to the availability of the program. So we're doing as much outreach as we can, and hopefully we will attract the applications before the application closes on the 19th of this month.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Do you have a motion to close the public hearing?
I move to close the public hearing.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next, a motion to approve public hearing item C.
I move to approve public hearing item C.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next, we have communications. Communication B has been removed from the consent agenda. Communication dated January 28th, 2010, from Lisa Wright, Development Officer, Johnny Cake Center of Peacedale, thanking the town council for their support and providing an overview of their client demographics and statistics from 2009 is received and placed on file. And Jim, I think you took this off. If you want to just talk to that item?
Yeah, quickly here, this is the real world. I can't thank Lisa enough for telling us what's happening out there. And frankly, I think there ought to be send every department in town, particularly my school department. But this is the real world, what is happening with the safety net issues in the state and the town. And I want to congratulate the Johnny Cake Center on just doing an absolutely marvelous job on trying to keep up with the demand. So many thanks to Lisa and the executive staff out there. This is quite sobering, quite real, and glad to see that we're doing so well here from our little town and how well the Johnny Cake Center is doing to help these people in need.
Yes, a huge asset to the people of South Kingstown and South County area. Any other comments about this? Do we have a motion for approval of communication item B?
I move approval of communication item B.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is a resolution adopted January 25th, 2010 by the Woonsocket City Council requesting legislation relative to minimum contributions for health care benefits provided to public employees is received, placed on file, and the town council further directs. What would the council like to do with this item? Anybody?
I think place it on file. I move we place it on file.
And a motion to place on file. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Kathy?
Jim?
Yeah, this I think is a very important resolution, and, it's too bad we can't get together with our brethren and our other cities and towns here. It'd really be great, and I've brought it up every year. I wish the healthcare issues were taken out of all of our public employee contracts. It'd be nice to have one standardized number throughout the state so we could not have these constant battles against city, town against town. I think it's more important than just placing it on file. I think it ought to be something that we endorse and move on to the other 38 cities and towns. So that would be my motion then. So
Well, there's
I'll-
already a motion on.
Oh, I thought I could amend
We're in
Molly's motion. I
discussion.
can't.
We've got one on the table.
That was on the list that you approved that went out that had come from Westerly at the last time as far as the mandates,
Mandates.
I believe,
Right. Yeah,
Jim.
it's just written a little differently, but I didn't know if that was.
Right, so
My
we already
recollection was
worked
that was on that list as well. Certainly, there's no harm if the council wanted to endorse and provide the legislators with the council's endorsement on the minimum 25% on the health care. But I thought that may have been,
It was
Yeah.
one of the.
It went one of the
Yes,
items
sir.
from Westerly. This is specifically to
so
Woonsocket.
you're already on record with that one.
Yeah, there's a little bit more of a story the last time with their December resolution. This is a little bit more direct, the whereases and so on and so forth, so.
I have a motion from Polly and seconded by Ella to place on file. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is communication item D, a communication dated February 2nd, 2010, from Director of Administrative Services informing the Town Council of Nelson Crook's resignation from the Waterfront Advisory Commission is received, placed on file, and the Town Council further directs. What does the council like to do regarding Mr. Crooks?
I think we should write him Ella?
I'm sorry, I'll go.
I'd just like to, publicly thank Nelson Crook for all the years of service, and I'm sure that we'll send him a letter. He definitely has a legacy. We've been very fortunate to have him serve our town.
So there's a motion for thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item E is a communication dated February 1st, 2010, from Claire Pompey, co-chairman of the Citizens for a Walkable Wakefield, regarding pedestrian safety and responsibilities for snow removal from the town sidewalks, is received, placed on file, and the town council further directs. What is the council's pleasure on this? I think we all received the letter in the packet.
Yeah, we discussed this in the work session too, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I think Claire Pompey does a great job, and I think she certainly realizes that the town does the best it can. I think this was probably written after one of our big snowstorms.
Right.
But I think it's difficult I think the town does a good job. I don't think I would ask for any more, so I would suggest we place this on file.
I'll second that, Pauline, I concur with everything you said there.
All right, so it's been a motion to place on file, it's been seconded. Well, any further discussion? Polly moved it, Jim second, any discussion? No, oh, I thought you were saying no, it wasn't, all right, I'm like, it isn't, I thought I heard it. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. I'm like, Hitler, I swear I heard that.
We've been ticked down enough tonight.
Next is comments from interested citizens. So if anybody has any comments, they can please come forward and state your name for the record.
Leslie Schwanad. My comment is simply this, and I know many of you are familiar with this too. As you can see tonight, you have the Tenants Association from Champaign Heights and Fournier Estates here tonight. And as many of you know, and I know you've been there because you've bodily been in at Champaign Heights and you've watched what's going on there, and we certainly appreciate your support. As you know, that for a while, there has been a vacancy on the Housing Authority's board, lack of a resident. And as you know, the applicants that have applied, PDNRI, Peacedale Neighborhood Revitalization, we have been working in tandem with the public housing, and I think even the chief can attest to this. Because of the work of Jane Sherman and her board, I think you have seen a dramatic decrease in crime and activities. No one should be afraid to go up to any of these public housings at night. I've been there at night. I know some of you have been there at night. I guess what I'm asking tonight is, because there's been such a long lapse through no one's fault, I think it's time now to put someone on there, a resident on there, who has been doing the work right along and will continue to do the work. And I don't know what your timeline is to appoint. I would hope it would be as soon as possible. And I think that you see the commitment right here, that this board comes out, that Jane does her work and her board does their work. And I think that they've done such good work that none of us, we talk about affordable housing and the need for affordable housing, and yet for years there's been this stigma of public housing. And I think we should get to the point in this town that if your children or your grandchildren needed an affordable place to live, that you wouldn't be ashamed or afraid for them to live in public housing in this town. And I think we're getting to that point, and I think we're getting to that point because of people that are sitting in this audience. And I think the stigma has always been, well, if people live in public housing, they've got to be on welfare, they're uneducated, da-da-da. I can tell you that one of my mentors for computers, because I'm terribly illiterate in computer, is Jane Sherman. She helps me anytime, and actually, I know you won't be able to make it, but PDNRI will be having an event at Peacedale Congregational Church on May 2nd. You will all be getting an invitation, which Jane has generated. I know you have I know you have budget hearings, but you will still get the invitation. So I don't know if you're intending to appoint. It says appointments tonight. Will there be any appointment tonight for the Housing Authority?
We
Or?
had some discussion earlier in the work session, so we're going to be doing some appointments, not just for that.
Oh, but you will be doing it tonight? So if we wait, we'll know tonight who's appointed? Okay. Thanks, Kathy. Okay, thank you.
Do you want to correct that? Because she said
Was that May 2nd or March 2nd?
March 2nd. I think you're in budget hearings.
Yeah, we probably.
Right.
But I'm
are.
sending them
Yes,
to your
you
home
said May,
anyway.
that's why I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
that
I
there
knew you
wasn't-
were going to be in budget hearings, but I just wanted you to see what we were doing anyway.
Thank you. Thank you, Leslie. Any other questions from the comments from interested citizens section? Please come forward and state your name for the record.
Good evening, Jonathan Daly LaBelle. I know this isn't a budget meeting, and I know there's been budget meetings, and there'll be other budget meetings. But it just seemed like there was a timely subject that I want to bring forward. Anybody that read the Sunday Journal a couple weeks ago saw that there was an article about the school funding, and there were some comments made coming from this, I don't know, I guess what I want to clarify, because I know it gets a little touchy with individuals and such, so clarify if this is coming from the board in total, or if it represents just one person or the entire board. And what was commented on was that there was some advocacy to state officials that South Kingstown gets more than its fair share for funding our schools. And I believe that if I'm looking at the stats correctly, the state spends just under $700 million to fund education in the state, and we get about $10 million, which I think is about 1.5% if my calculation is correct. So I guess I take a little offense to that. It was also stated, I know that these are kind of, some of these discussions have happened before, and I'm sure they'll happen again, but just wanted to clarify that, because in the article it was stated that the staff size has increased while the population has gone down, and the staff for the South Kingstown School District peaked at 620 and a half FTEs, and that was in 2000, it was 2002 and 2003, that school year. And right now we currently have 567. So our staff has actually declined since the peak by about 9%. The student population has gone down about 19%, but I don't know how you'd really be ahead of a decline. So I don't know if anybody wants to speak to that. It just was concerning to me, because to me, if this kind of starts getting traction at the state level, that South Kingstown, feels like we just want to be on our own, even though we have all these state mandates and federal mandates. It's worrisome to me.
Yeah, I'll respond. I was quoted an I alone in that article. I do not represent anyone else on this council. That was pretty clear in the article. Also, too, if you were going to measure the population peak, do it as I do from 1999, 2000, when we were 4,383 kids. Now we're 3,550, and at that time, the staff was 519. You're welcome to go look at the files up to school department, 519, not the scandal after the Broad Rock was open, when they decided to hire 100 people. So you've got to measure apples to apples here, as I do. But anyway, it's me and me alone that was quoted in that paper, and I represent my opinions only.
Okay, and I use the apples to apples.
You have never done that.
Excuse me?
You have never done that.
No? Okay. I feel like to be apples to apples, you have to be fair, that to take the year or 2 years before the opening of a school, and we can go back in history and look to see if that was the right decision or not, and there's been a lot of consensus in the town that that was not the right decision. But that doesn't seem to be relevant to me today, trying to have a quality school system. So to try and say, let's try and now make up for poor decisions in the past and penalize the community members, the school system itself, the staff, and the children, most importantly, doesn't seem to make a lot of sense.
And I maintain you're penalizing the taxpayers, and you're contributing to the long-term debt of the state taxpayers and the pension because of the salaries. Take a look at the contract in place with the health care, a little over 5%, with most of the state at 15+. Take a look at the fact that we can't even have a discussion with the NEA town representatives because of that contract they signed. You need to do a lot of the work before you make comments and accusations. My figures are on the money. Yours have never been.
All right, well, excuse me that in 5 minutes, it's difficult to do a lot of work. I'm doing the best I can. I
Well,
think
it's your-
that
it's your
if I, I'll
drivel
just,
at
I'll
every
just,
meeting.
if I can just finish, and then, you know, I'd be happy to sit down. You know, you can do a lot with numbers. I think measuring off the peak, you know, there can be a disagreement on that. But what I would look at is that also over the course of this time of these 10 years, we've added team teaching, which is, and I know, again, this has been brought up, but I think it's always needs to be part of the discussion. The team teaching has been added, which requires more staff, but it seems to have improved student incomes and seems to be very popular in the community. That's part of the middle school model. All-day kindergarten was added. That seems to be very popular, seems to be improving educational outcomes. And I just look back to that time where there was so much administrative turnover, and right now you look at our district, it really has been stabilized. So it seems to me like in a lot of ways the investment that's been there has paid off. And I guess I'll go back to my initial thing. I think that the state does have some responsibility to us. South Kingstown taxpayers, community members contribute a lot to the state's economy. We pay a lot of taxes. And so then if it's stated that we're getting more than our fair share from the state, again, I'll say I take great offense to that. Thank you.
Carol? Jonathan, I think it's very clear that most of us on this council would strongly disagree what was mentioned in that article by Mr. O'Neill. And I think you're well aware of that. To come here tonight and say, is that the opinion of the entire council? I think you knew the answer to that before you showed up here.
I agree, Carol.
And the answer is no, we don't advocate for that position. I would say the other four of us do not advocate for that position, and you should be aware of that, and I think you are aware of that. And we've advocated for education, as I think all five of us advocate for education, but we are in very difficult economic times. But with that said, there is no way that any of us, other than Jim, was spoken for in that article.
Okay, so that's an excellent point, and of course I'm aware of that.
Well, why did you bring that up when you came
Why
forward?
are you here then?
You came in here
I'm tired of
saying,
your
is that
drivel,
the opinion
all the
of
time,
the
drivel.
council?"
Jim, that is not proper, or that's not appropriate.
You may want to revisit your rules of decorum. If I could come in,
Grow up. Would you grow up?
Jim, please. Please, he has it is comments from interested citizens. He has his right to come forward. I think it's been addressed. Let's, calmer heads prevail up here on the council, on the dais. Carol, I didn't mean to interrupt you if you were finished.
I was just saying, one of your first questions
Right.
was, does this reflect the opinion of the
well,
entire
I'm going to answer
council?
that, but I was
your
actually
opening
cut off by
statement,
3 members
Carol.
of the council. I was going to answer that. If I could come in, as an adult, be treated as an adult by the town council and say, well, let's have a discussion, okay? I have separate concerns with the town council as a whole, okay? But of course, it's right in the article that these things are being stated by Mr. O'Neill. But there's a rule that no member of the public can come in and use somebody's name. So and then some years ago, in this kind of a situation, I was charged with using innuendo. So I figured I'd come in, you guys can clarify that. I don't have a problem with you clarifying.
Okay, so, not to interrupt you.
Okay.
Clarification, Carol made the clarification. It was a broad brush that you painted with the whole council.
But, yeah.
Jonathan? The article clearly stated one name.
So
You know how to read.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think the question was appropriate to begin with, to come in at a broad brush. I think that's what Carol's concern is. So I think we've addressed that now from the council. Carol clearly stated that. Okay, so we can move on. If you have another topic that you'd like to discuss, you can go
Well, so I
forward.
guess, can I use a name? Because
Jonathan, we've already moved past it. You've already stated the name. Carol stated the name. We're past that one, okay?
well, but moving forward,
No, Jonathan, you're not supposed to point out anybody directly.
okay,
You
so
saw
you're
it in an
saying,
article, you could have-
so you're saying, in other words,
Jonathan,
Jonathan, of course you know that it's not the whole board, but then at the same time, you say, moving forward, we can only we cannot use individual names. So where does that leave a member of the public that wants to come in, try and be part of the discourse.
Jonathan, the first thing I said is that it was my opinion. I stepped to the plate and took responsibility for it, not the council. What more do you want? You have a problem hearing? Is the equipment not working well here?
No, my hearing's pretty good.
Then sit down. You're
Jonathan,
absolutely an embarrassment.
Jim, please.
Absolutely embarrassment.
Please.
Jonathan, is there another question that you have?
No,
You have your 5 minutes on this
reapproach.
topic.
I will reapproach when there are calmer heads up at the bench. And maybe
Ella,
it's,
please, go forward.
can I finish what I'm saying?
Jonathan, I think I just said we've had 5 minutes. If you have a new topic, you could go on to the next topic. We've given you your 5 minutes. We've actually given probably 10 from what I can see. Ella?
Kath, if we could just clarify, and Mike, I'm going to put it in your lap, if Jonathan has the question in reference to naming specific town council members here at the table, is there a legal opinion that you could help us out with?
You just have a policy that you've adopted. It's really not a legal issue, it's a policy. It's your rules and regulations, you make the rules and regs. You've made that to try to keep, individuals out of the discussions for the good of everyone. But it's just a rule and reg. You can change it anytime, you can keep it the way it is.
Thank
Right.
you.
So I would strongly say not to name something. I would just give an example as maybe saying, I read an article where one council person, that just might be the way to handle it. So just to clarify for you in the future that that's how you might approach coming into the council. That way, policy isn't broken, and that's how I would have handled it.
Okay, in years past, when I've done that, then it came the charge that I was using innuendo and
No, you said
insinuations.
a council person, Polly, that was under you.
It was under
A
mine
council person, and
when I
that
was
worked fine.
council president.
That worked fine.
Yeah.
But then that's when the charge came that there was this innuendo.
No, a council person.
Okay,
would
well,
be fine.
that's what I remember happening.
All right.
So, you could, in other words, a better option to me would be,
One
people
person was
can
stated
talk
in a
about
paper.
issues
That sounds good.
individually, and if somebody's out of line, then you can preside over the meeting. Thank you.
Okay, Jonathan, thank you. Anybody else, would they like to come forward? State your name for the record. If not, we will move on to the town manager's report. Oh, was somebody else wanted to get forward? I'm sorry.
My name is Sandra Conley. I'm Vice President on the Tenants Association in the housing. Jane's done a lot. Jane's bought a lot. I'm here to back Jane because she's done a lot. She set up where we've done all sorts of things. We go out into the community. We have the community now coming to us to see us. She's come out of her own pocket to help everyone and anyone who needs help. You have residents now who will come when there's a problem and talk to us, and we have her back. She's good for the community. She's good. She's changed a lot of things. She's made things better. We wouldn't have a tenants association if it wasn't for Jane. She fought to get what we have, and what we have has made it a much better place for all of us. I've lived there 11 years, and I'll tell you, the last 2 years, 90% better. I don't mind having anybody come and visit me. It's just a nice place now. It's more family-oriented, and I don't know. She does a lot for all of us, and I just think she's worth it. She's just a good person. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joseph Peabody, a current board member. I also would like to say that Jane has been doing quite well in the curb. We had our second successful field day with all the kids in the area. And we did a Halloween picnic before the kids went out for Halloween, et cetera. And as president, a lot of these things I don't think would happen if we had anybody else. And I'd just like to say, I think she'd be great as the resident commissioner.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Peabody, Joseph Peabody? Joseph Peabody, that was your name. They didn't get your name. Okay.
Laura Wheeler.
When you pull that down.
My name is Laura Wheeler. I'm also here to speak for Jane Sherman. I think one of the most important things that she cares about the residents. She is very caring. She wants what's best for everybody that's involved up there, and she works great with the housing authority, and I think she would be a great addition to the commissioners. I think she'd be a great piece for them.
Okay, thank you.
Council members, my name is Timothy Martin. I'm a resident up at the Champaign Heights housing complex. I've also been a lifelong resident of South County, and I'm a displaced fisherman. When I grew up, I went to the junior high school across from Champaign Heights, and I remember riding the school bus and looking up that road and going, I'll never get caught dead up there. Well, now I live there, and it is a completely different place. And it's that way because of the Tenants Association and because of the residents that are there now. Mrs. Sherman has done an incredible amount of work. A lot of it has not even been, what's the word I'm looking for, identified or brought to the table, so to speak, and continues to do so on a daily basis. And I really think that she should be the one to fill the seat. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you.
Excuse me, I didn't catch your name.
Timothy Martin.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Okay. Then next we move on to the town manager's report. Steve?
Item L in the February 4th package, I'd like to bring the council up to date on. That item is on the purchase of the St. Dominic Savio property. Within the packet, I've provided the council with a sales agreement which has been executed for the town to purchase 13.44 acres of property locally known as the Dominic Savio property off Broad Rock Road on St. Dominic Road. This is the property adjacent to the senior center, and it abuts the open play field at the Broad Rock Middle School. The sales agreement for the property has been executed at the direction of the town council. I want to bring forward within the sales agreement, there's a requirement for a lease between the town of South Kingstown, the Prout School, and Monsignor Clark School for approximately 4 acres of the 13.5 acres that we will be purchasing. That lease back to the two parochial schools will require that those schools be responsible for the construction of a lacrosse soccer field that meets all of the rules and regulations for interscholastic league play. So it'll be a standard that can be used by the schools as well as by the South Kingstown school system once constructed and accepted by the town. We've written into the lease agreement town approval of the plan specifications and construction docs to ensure that the field meets those terms and conditions necessary to become resident to the town's park program. The lease also provides the schools with a first priority use of the properties based on a non-exclusive use. It's a non-exclusive use where on an annual basis, the schools will provide a schedule of use for the hours that they would want to have first right use of the property. Other than those hours, it'll be a public access field and controlled through the town's park system. We anticipate that the cost for the construction of that field will exceed $100,000. We plan on closing on the property at a cost of $700,000 this Wednesday. On February 10th, the final purchase will be closed. I now want to turn my attention to funding for the property. I'm pleased also to announce that the town is receiving a $250,000 grant from the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management through the Open Space Grant Program for Active Play Space. This will reduce the town's cost to $450,000 for the property. I want to provide special recognition to Andy Nada, Vin Murray, Ray Nickerson, for the work that they did in the development of the application, the negotiation and work with the DEM officials to really get a grant which is a non-discretionary grant. There was no specific grant period that we were in. This was a case of providing the information and the documentation and working with the DEM staff. I want to recognize the DEM staff, and I also want to recognize the Director of DEM, Mike Sullivan, for providing an expedited response to us because it was necessary to have the grant documentation and approvals in place before the closing could take place. In addition to the $250,000 grant, I'm also pleased to announce tonight that the town will receive another $100,000 grant from the Champlin Foundation, which will be provided through Nature Conservancy at Champlin's direction. This will reduce our cost to $350,000, and as noted, will also provide us with the necessary lacrosse soccer field. I think this is a fabulous acquisition for the town. It's been one that has been in negotiation now for approximately 14 months. It provides us with an opportunity for the future to use that 13.5 acres, one, as a potential location for the Town Recreation Center, which is a component of the capital improvement program. Two, for a second building of equal size of approximately 24,000 square feet. So the property can house approximately 48,000 square feet of indoor recreation use facilities with parking of approximately 220 cars. I want to also recognize that one of the main accelerants for getting this grant application with both DEM and with Champlin was the use of the town's GIS system to be able to provide for a draft land use plan, which clearly documented how acquisition of that property would be used in conjunction with all of the other town holdings at Broad Rock Road. So I think I want to recognize the staff because I think they've done an excellent job in being able to move the projects forward. I also think that this was a critical piece of property for the town to take possession of based on the other holdings and the uses of the town properties, whether it's for the senior center, the recreation fields, or the walking paths that get us to Old Mountain Field. With acquisition of the property, we'll also be able to connect the play fields at Broad Rock with the middle school with a formal walking path. So I think it's a win-win for the community. It's certainly major grant dollars that will assist the community during difficult economic times. And it also provides the community with the gift of time. Without acquiring that property at this point, the availability of that property at a later time may not have been there. Or it may have been sold for another purpose that would have been in conflict with the municipal uses that currently are in residence at that location. So I want to thank everybody. I also want to thank the council for them providing us with the authorization to be able to do the negotiation. And certainly, in closing, I want to thank the Diocese of Providence for working with us and making this into a workable project with some unique characteristics. The leaseback, the non-exclusive use, and their agreement to be able to commit capital construction dollars to be able to provide for a use that will be open to the general public as well as with the preferred use by the two parochial schools that are resident to our community. So with that, I'd answer any questions that the council may have or the public has. And again, this is the first time that we're announcing the Champlin Foundation grant since that information was just made available to us Friday morning.
That's very exciting, actually. This is, well, let council first. Go ahead, Jim.
Yes, Steve, I would echo the same. I mean, I want to thank you, Andy, Ray, Vin, the Diocese, of course, Champlin Foundation, DEM. But I really want to thank my council here because I think you played it low-key. I'm very proud of the council here because we made you step up and step to the plate here. And I'm very proud of the council on that because I think we all recognize the importance of this specific point in property. So thank you, council, and thank you, Steve and staff.
Thank you, Jim.
We have to
Yeah,
wrestle-
I hope
Thank
everyone
you.
realizes what a valuable piece of property that is to the town. I thought it was just a great, I think to get it for $350,000 is pretty good. But it was a great buy at any price. We needed it, and we all felt very strongly about that. We'll all enjoy
Yes,
it.
yes.
So thank you, thank everyone.
Any of the council have anything to say?
Ditto. I think it was a great acquisition and great job by all.
I just also want to express my thanks, and I can remember sitting here and talking about the 700,000, and here we are. 215 and additional 100,000. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it works out. Keep throwing those fishes, the hooks out there. You never know what you're gonna get. But again, the council did push, it was something that we certainly saw that as a valuable piece and that we did wanna make sure that the town did receive this. But thank you really to Andy and to Vin and to Ray, who have their feelers out at different meetings that we send them to. People in the town don't realize what the whole operation that goes on in the town hall here. And, they see us, they see Steve as the administrator, the town manager. But it's the other people who go out and go to these different meetings and hear about some of these different grants that, could be missed if you weren't as thorough as our staff is here in the town, and are able to pull in that type of money. So that cut the value of that land in half. It's just significant. And thank you to, I see Vin and Andy here, and Ray Nick isn't here. Always enjoy when Ray's here. He's a character. But thank you for the work that they do, and I'll continue to do it because they do bring in money to this town, and it saves the taxpayers a lot of money. It's a great team effort here at South Kingstown Town Hall. Don't forget you, Dale. You do all the paperwork in the clerk's office too. So,
Thank you, Kathy.
One more closing comment that I would make is that the community partnership also played a role in this because the monthly meetings involving the various groups, DEM, Federal Fish and Wildlife, South Kingstown Land Trust, as well as the municipality, talk about availability of funds, talk about different projects that each of the groups is working on. And a good deal of the discussion came out of that meeting to get us moving forward as far as the grant was concerned. So the objective to be able to preserve land or to purchase land for municipal purposes certainly took a step forward based on that community partnership still being in place.
right. I absolutely agree. Oh, and thanks to the diocese too, just in case any lightning rods come in.
Better add.
Steve, anything else that you'd like to discuss this evening? Any other money that you found for us?
We are still working on a few others, but we're not ready to talk about them yet.
Okay.
I'll yield to the
Okay.
Kathy,
Mike, before we.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
Is this for Mike? Wait a minute,
No.
is this for Steve or for Mike?
Mike.
Okay.
But you had a Steve or a Mike?
I was after Mike.
All right, you get him first.
I'll get him first. Mike, I just wanted to make very plain, because it was when I was council president, that was under our policies and procedures that we request. No one, when they come to meetings, no one uses names to attack various council members. We felt we were sitting here, and after all, we do serve the town. We try very hard to serve the town, and the last thing we need is to have people say, now, Pollietti, you did this, you did that, and it gets, it's cantankerous, it is not productive, and we wanted to bring it to a higher level. If you have issues to discuss, please come on and discuss them. But as for attacking even, not only us, attacking various people in town, we don't really condone that. And that was the reason for that policy and procedure.
So it was name, not specifically as a council as a whole, the names.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Jim?
Yeah, Mike, in our packet this week was decision on the Town of South Kingstown Zoning Board, Marchand case. My concern is especially since this is in Green Hill, even though it's not down the water, but my concern is a legal non-conforming lot, and you're allowing variances. What is this? I don't know if you can just picture all the lots on Green Hill Pond, all these narrow, all heavily wet lots. Just what kind of a position does this put the town in, losing or winning in this case, this particular case, but I find this a disaster in the making.
You know, Jim, and I think the best comment I can make is truly every one of these is going to be decided on their own unique circumstances. I don't think, you know, we don't argue precedent. We argue the facts of the particular case that was before them. You know, this was something that the town bodies approved and the court agreed with it. It doesn't mean that the next one would go the same way. It's really factual based.
Is there something the town could do if the council so chose, change planning and zoning to maybe change non-conforming, legal non-conforming lots that were put together back in the 20s and 30s and 40s to somehow or another not allow variances of any kind?
Well, to build on a legal non-conforming use, there are requirements that are in place now anyhow. But if by definition it's legal non-conforming, we can't undo that unconformity, so to speak. It would be a deprivation of someone's property rights. So, I mean, the most you can do is working with the council. You certainly can, you know, amend the comprehensive plan, amend the zoning ordinance, et cetera, but you can't divest a person who owns a legal non-conforming use of their ability to move forward if they meet, you know, wetland setbacks, et cetera, et cetera. It's, and DEM requirements for ISDS.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about the ISDS. I'm just talking about plain old side and rear setbacks that are changed. I'm really worried that this could set a precedent. I don't agree with you on that. I'm very concerned about this, and frankly, I'd love to know why in town here, why neighbors, neighborhoods, and abutters don't have the same property rights that developers do. Why isn't there a line drawn in the sand that we both have a starting point that's equal? Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Mike? Nope. Okay, moving on, we have appointments, I believe, are next. I've lost my agenda. Okay. Holly?
We have several appointments. The first one is to the Economic Develop. No, excuse me. The Affordable Housing Collaborative Committee. We are appointing Paul Jordan, and his term will run from February 10 to February 13. Do the terms start now, Dale?
Well, there's two terms. One term will expire in August of 2010, and one will expire in August of 2011, because they're
Okay.
unfulfilled terms.
Unfilled term.
Okay?
Excuse me, so that will, we'll put him in the August 11th one.
Yeah. All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next, Polly?
The next is for the Housing Authority, and I would nominate James Sherman for a term of 5 years.
Second.
What's the dates on that? When that ends?
What is that? This is a,
10:09.
Well,
Is that a replace?
is that a replacement, or?
if she is replacing Jeff Peckham,
Peckham, yes.
then the term expired in October of 2009, so a new term would go until October of 2014.
2014.
So October of 2014? All right. So motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next.
Next one is Recreation Commission.
Congratulations.
Frank Quinn. I would like to nominate Frank Quinn
Second?
to a 3-year term.
Second?
And that would end when?
When would that end, Dale?
It's hard to read.
Okay, the term for Jay Murphy for the vacancy expires in June of 2012, so it would be for that term. June 2012.
June 2012.
Excuse me.
It's been moved.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, oh, excuse me, any further discussion on that one? No. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We have one more, I believe.
One more is Route 138, the Reconstruction Project Area Committee. I'd like to appoint Diane Johnson.
Second?
Okay, let her do the term here. Let's get the terms
I'm
down.
not gonna wait.
Okay.
I want her on the board.
Okay.
And that's a 2-year term. And when would that be?
Well, again, it's another unexpired term, so it's May 2011.
May 2011.
Okay. This one's been moved and seconded already. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, Polly, are you all done with all those
That's
appointments? All right, good job. All right, we're moving on to new business item. We've already done A, and we're moving on to B. A resolution authorizing mooring license fees as follows: $8 per foot for moorings licensed to qualified residents of South Kingstown, and $12 per foot for all others, with a minimum building length of 15 feet, and amending the town's schedule of fees as further described in the memorandum from the harbor master to the town manager dated January 16, 2010, and entitled Revenue Source Increase. Steve?
The staff recommendation is to increase from $4 to $8 per foot with a 15-foot minimum for town residents for mooring space in South Kingstown, and for non-residents that hold moorings in South Kingstown to increase from $4 to $12 a foot with a minimum 15-foot requirement per boat. The fees that are currently in place are $4 a running foot, regardless of whether it's a resident or a non-resident. Those fees were established in 1988 and haven't been changed since that time. There are 118 moorings held by South Kingstown residents and 21 that are held by non-residents. So we have 139 moorings altogether. Current fees generated by moorings is approximately $11,300 a year. With the increase in the fee structure as laid out, going from 4 to 8 or to 12 for the non-resident, we generate another approximate $13,000. So we would see total fees of around $24,400 if everybody who currently holds a mooring with the same boat that they had in the current year were to remain for the 2010 season. We have a waiting list at this point of 94 individuals, of which 6 are non-resident. I believe the rest are all town residents. We are looking at all of the fee structures that are in place in South Kingstown, and we'll be coming forward with other recommendations as far as revisions. It's also important to note that this fee structure will mirror the fee structure that is currently in place in Narragansett at the $8 and $12 per linear foot. So with that, I'd answer any questions that the council has relative to the proposal before you.
Are there any questions for Steve? No.
If not, then I move approval of new business resolution B.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? I just want to thank our harbor master, Barry Enos, who's here this evening, who, wrote a nice letter and recommending the increase in the fees. So just wanted to say hi to you. Recognize you're here. Okay. Been moved and seconded. No further discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next, we move on to item D. It's a resolution authorizing an award of contract to RB Allen Company Incorporated, 131 Lafayette Road, Northampton, New Hampshire, for alarm receiving equipment in accordance with the vendor proposal dated December 16th in an amount not to exceed $21,500 and is further described in the memorandum from the Chief of Police to the Town Manager dated February 1st, 2010, entitled Bid Recommendation Alarm Receiving Equipment for Public Safety Dispatch Center. Steve?
As you recall, at the last meeting, we had received a $39,180 grant that would go toward the purchase of radios, 800 megahertz radios. That also freed up the money that we had anticipated using local dollars to pay for those radios. We're looking to spend $21,500, as outlined on the agenda tonight, for the replacement of the alarm receiving equipment at the public safety building. That equipment is in need of immediate repair or replacement. The service contract's no longer available on it. I'd recommend that the council award as presented in the chief's memo.
Okay, any questions for Steve? No. Hearing none, all those in, no, excuse me, do I have a motion? Sorry, didn't mean to rush that along, Chief.
I move approval of new business item D.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any further discussion? Chief, I can't wait to get that alarm system, I don't even want them to vote, I just want to give it to you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next, we move on to item E, is a resolution authorizing an award of contract to Cybertech North America for North King Street, White Plains, New York, for a digital voice recording system in accordance with the vendor proposal dated January 14, 2010, which is based on state of Rhode Island bidding pricing, an amount not to exceed $13,132, and is further described in a memorandum from the Chief of the Police to the Town Manager dated February 1st, entitled Bid Recommendation Digital Voice Recording System Replacement. Steve?
As noted in the chief's memo, there's a need to replace the equipment that's been in operation since the police station opened in 1997. Recommendation is to award to lowest qualified bidder. We support the recommendation as presented.
Okay. Any questions for Steve? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve new business item E.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is item H, which is a resolution authorizing an award of bid to Liberty Chevrolet Incorporated, 90 Bay Street, Wakefield, Mass, for a 2010 Chevrolet CK209034 4x4 regular cab pickup truck with Line-X spray-on bed liner, an 8-foot Fisher Minute Mount snowplow, and an amount not to exceed $29,073, including trade-in, and is further described in the memorandum from the Public Service Director to the Town Manager dated February 2nd. Steve?
As noted in John's memo, we're looking to replace two vehicles. One will be with plow, one will be without plow. We may add a plow to that vehicle at a later time. The specs were drawn in a different manner. One was a heavy-duty truck, one is a lighter-duty vehicle. Each of these vehicles was appropriations were set up for the replacements of these vehicles going back 2 years. We've held on to the equipment for as long as we felt was possible, where it was economically viable to keep those trucks in operation. I'd recommend that the award for both items H and I be as presented on the agenda tonight.
Oh, okay. You went to H and I together. All right, do I have a motion for H and I?
Motion to approve new business items H and I.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion's passed unanimously. Yay. This is the one that I had on the consent agenda, which wasn't. All right, so with J, instead of reading this, do we have to read this through? We're going to take this off the,
We request
accept.
that the council accept the withdrawal of the bid proposal submitted by Patrick and Holly Masson, doing business as Masson Farm, and that you accept that, and in so accepting, the item will be withdrawn from the agenda.
okay, do I have a motion to accept?
I move to accept the withdrawal of the bid. for new business item J,
Refer back to staff.
and refer back to staff.
Okay.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. A motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second?
Second?
There's a move to second. Move to second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously, and the time is 9:20.